So we are here today with Lisa Thomas-McMillan, and she is the owner and operator of Drexel and Honey Bees in Brewton, Alabama. Lisa, it is such a pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you for spending some time with us. And on behalf of the entire team at Yellowhammer, congratulations on being named as a Woman of Impact.
Well, thank y'all so much it's an honor. I look at the names and I wonder, but it is indeed an honor to be named, one of a woman of impact. It means a lot. And to be named in the midst of all the other women that, I'm named with, it's definitely an honor to be on the list.
Well, I can tell you it is an honor for us at Yellowhammer. And well, let's kind of start a little bit in the beginning. How did the idea for Drexel and Honey Bees come to you? What was the inspiration there?
Behind the restaurant?
Yes.
About 20 years ago, I started a nonprofit food bank. And that included doing hot meals and taking food around to mostly elderly people, because 20 years ago, we're not looking at what we're looking at now. People, they know a lot more about hunger now than 20 years ago. It was kind of something that people didn't talk about and stuff. And getting around town and speaking to a lot of the elderly people in my hometown, I realized that a lot of them were choosing between medicine and food. So I started a nonprofit food bank called Lisa Incorporated. And by doing that, I got a chance to go out in the rural areas delivering food, but I was also learning a lot about how people were living, some of the things they were kind of missing out on in life. And I, over the years, I set up in my mind, wouldn't it be nice to have a place where people could just go and eat and not have to worry about paying for anything? And then I ran across on the internet a place called Soul Food, John Bon Jovi. And it fascinated me that he was doing this pay it forward thing. And every now and then I would go in there to get my inspiration because it was something I wanted to do. I would go and read about his restaurants and just get that inspiration, and saying one day I would love to own a restaurant like that, but with a few different circumstances. So I got married about 9 years ago, and I was talking to my husband, and I was telling him, I said, it'd be nice if we could get a restaurant where people wouldn't have to worry about paying. And he said, well, do you want to get something like that? I said, I would love to get something like that. So he said, let's do it. So we started looking for a place. It took us a few years, and we found a place. And once we got we didn't want a mortgage. We wanted it to be, once we got that cleared up, paid it off, we started working on it. And it took us about 1.5 years, 2 years to get it fixed up. We did most of the work. Of course, we didn't do the plumbing and all that, but we got it kind of fixed up the way we wanted. And we wanted it to be a place where if you were able to go eat out, you were not able to go eat out. We wanted it to be a place where everybody could fit in and feel comfortable and know that, they were in a good place with good food. And we wanted also to set it up where nobody would know who paid or if they paid or how much. So we set it up with a private little box. And one thing I learned over the years in delivering food is that people, they might not have money, but they have pride. And I knew that a lot of people would not come in if their pride would be questioned. So we set it up where they could keep every inch of their pride, come in and enjoy a meal and walk out just like anybody else. And so that's what we have here, and we are so proud of it. I can't hear you.
There we go.
Okay.
There's so much to be proud of. And it sounds like, if from what I've read, your relationship with food and interest in food started pretty early on that you did have you spent lots of times professionally in the food and service industry. What
I did.
what what do you love about food? What drew you in?
Food. Well, I love to see. I always tell people, your eyes eat before your stomach. Before you put that food in your mouth, your eyes are gonna eat first. And if you look at something, it could be great, but if it looks really not so great, people's eyes have already told me, I'm not gonna like that, and I don't even want to taste it. But if I love to fix food where when people look at it, they go, oh, that looks so good. Because once they put that in their mouth, that they've already tasted it with their eyes, that they're gonna love it. And I love to see people enjoy food. And I think food is just this great warm thing that brings people together, makes them fellowship. When you see a group of people sitting around eating and enjoying food, they're fellowshipping and they're enjoying each other. And that's what the restaurant is all about, bringing different people in. So I don't even know you maybe, but I'm sitting around this table having a good meal, enjoying the food, and I'm fellowshipping with a stranger, and it is the best feeling in the world.
Yes. Um, how does faith play a role in your mission here?
Oh, well, that's the biggest role, yes. Um, I I believe that no matter what you have, however little, however much, that there's always someone out there that has less or more than you, than not only you, than anybody. So I believe you got to have faith. When we started this, we had no idea. First, of course, you got the naysayers going, "How you gonna open a donation only restaurant? Well, that's just crazy. Why would you do something like that?" We had people telling us that all the time. Well, we said because we want to, because that's what we want to do. We want to contribute back, and God gave us that mission, and we were going to fulfill it, and He was giving us a way to fulfill it, and He was clear in every step. When we found the building, we knew that God was saying, "Go for it. That's what you need to do." So that was faith, because we had no idea if we would get the building ready, or it was in terrible condition. And we worked hard and long. But the thing is, my husband told me, he says, no matter what happens, half of our retirement is going to feed this restaurant. It's going to stay open, irregardless of what happens. So if people come in, if they donate, if they don't, it's going to remain open. And that was our faith. And that has sustained us. And we are so happy that we started it, and it helps so many people, and we still have our faith. But see, the thing about it is that not only does the faith come in, but the good feeling, the joy deep down in your stomach that you get from doing something like this. Money can't buy the faith or the joy and the peace of mind. And those are priceless benefits that we are getting from this. And people come down and they ask us all the time. They travel down here from all over the place and ask us all the time, "Can I do this?" Yes, you can do it. You can do it. I tell them all the time, you can definitely do it. All it takes is faith and the want, the sincere want to serve others. And to be in the service of others is the best thing you can do. Because after all, that's why we were put on earth, to help each other. And I just think serving other people, serving others is the highest compliment you can pay God for Him giving you your health and strength and keeping you sustained through everything. And no matter what happens, God's going to take care of you.
It seems like, Lisa, in the course of your story, just over and over again, you have just acted on faith in these very bold ways, just like a reflex. You just go. God, if God called you to walk to Washington D.C., you did it. If He called you to leave L.A. and come to Bruton, you did
Right.
it. How have you learned how to listen and act when you get that call?
Well, I walked to Washington. Well, it started out with a walk to Montgomery because of the hunger situation, because I didn't think people were taking it serious enough. But now, like, you're looking at 15 years ago, and it's a lot more serious to people now than it was then. But they weren't taking it serious enough. And I was talking to God one day. I go, well, Lord, what can I do to make people take this serious? People are hungry. Old people are choosing between medicine and food. And it came right in my head, walk to Montgomery and take a letter to Governor Riley. And I looked around that room. I'm not kidding you. I go, walk where? I go, wait a minute. I go, walk to Montgomery. That's 100 and some miles from Bruton. I knew it would take a few days, and I am so terrified of dogs. All this was going through my mind, but I took it seriously, and that was in November. I'll never forget. And in March, I had organized a walk to Montgomery to take a letter to Governor Riley about the hunger situation in Alabama. And while I was there, I decided, well, next year I'm going to walk to Washington, D.C. and take a letter to then President Bush and give him the same letter and let him know that this is going on all over the world, all over this country. It's not just in Alabama. And that's when I committed myself to walk to Washington for the next year. It took 53 days to walk to Washington, and somebody had the audacity to say, she didn't walk to Washington. She didn't do it. I go, are you crazy? You know how much, what it would have taken to fake a 53-day walk? It wouldn't even been worth my time. Okay. And then when I was going through Tuskegee, this guy was standing on the road and he saw the signs on the van. He goes, Miss, how much are they paying you to walk to Washington? And that was a good question, because I looked at him and I go, you know, they couldn't pay me to walk to Washington. And that's when I realized how big, how good it was. I mean, how great this was, because you could not pay me to walk to Washington. But the fact that I'm trying to help people with hunger, I would do it for nothing. And that's when I realized, just that one question made me realize, oh, Lord, Lisa, this is pretty awesome, because you couldn't be paid to do this.
Oh, it must be. Well, help us understand for the readers and the listeners who have never been inside of Drexel and Honey Bees. And of course, let's just pretend it's before COVID, when your restaurant was full during its lunch hours.
Yes.
If we were a fly on the wall, what would we see?
Well, you come in and you would see, of course, us, the volunteers. We would greet you, and you come through the door, and then you would see all the wonderful food. But first, when you come through the door, you would be most people are shocked, because they go, oh my God, this looks like something from HGTV. The building with the designs and stuff that we have. Most people are absolutely shocked at how wonderful this place turned out, how beautiful it is. And the flowers were donated from NDI and stuff. And I mean, just a beautiful place. People added their little own, when they donate stuff, they add their own little presents here. But that would be the first thing. That's the first thing people notice when they walk through the door, how beautiful it is. And then, of course, you come up and see all the really nice food and stuff, and you get your meal, and you meet a lot of friendly people along the way going up to get your meal, people talking to you and everything, because after all, that's what it's all about, fellowship and meeting strangers and communicating with people and helping people. And that's what you would feel like when you come to Drexel and Honey Bees. And we have people coming from all over the place. We had a couple of women drive down from Georgia. One day, 5 hours one way. And I go, well, where y'all headed? They go, we headed right here. And we're going to turn around and go back today. And I thought, wow, That is so awesome. I mean, we would have never dreamed that that would be happening, but that's what people ask us. Well, when you all going to reopen? Because I want to come down. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
It reminds me of that movie, Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
but we never dreamed that. It's amazing, and people. I mean, they come from all over the country. I mean, we even heard from people from Scotland and India. They want to come and eat at the restaurant. They want to come and volunteer and stuff. And we've had people coming out from Texas to volunteer, Louisiana to volunteer. So it's so awesome. The whole thing is just so awesome to see it just pulling together and happening around us. And then and every day you can go home with this special moment from being here. You can leave with a special moment because of how things unfold in here.
So I've read in some of the previous interviews that you talk about feed the need.
Yes.
How can this be applied outside of food? How can all of us in our daily lives feed the need?
Okay, I can only give you examples, and I'll tell you. I used to share with people a lot more than I do now, and I might get a little emotional. But then people told me that, well, they kind of criticized me, but it was only sharing and trying to show people how even with little or nothing, you can reach out and help someone. I don't have to be rich. I don't have to be a millionaire. But feed the need. If you come to the doors of Drexel and Honey Bees, and I will feed you. We will feed you. But then I overhear you at a table saying, well, I don't know, I don't have anywhere to sleep tonight. But I'm full. I've got a good meal, but I don't have anywhere to sleep tonight. But we're gonna do something about that. We're not gonna let you leave here knowing that. So when I was trying to think of a mission statement, something that would just, just encompass everything, feed the need. And that need could be anything. It doesn't have to be food. So we'll feed your stomach for sure, but we'll also try. One day I was in the land serving, and it was some people in line. This was in January. It was the coldest day I can remember this year, and there was some people talking, and this couple was saying, "Well, yeah, they'd gone to a local store here, and to buy an electric heater. They were on sale for $24.99." And they said by the time they got there, though, they sold out. Everything was gone. And somebody asked them, "Well, how much? What you gonna do?" They go, "Well, I don't know. I didn't have money to buy the other heaters, and so we couldn't get a heater." So when they came up to where I was, well, I said, "Well, how much were the other heaters?" He said, "Well, it was $39.99 and $49.99." So I went and asked Freddie, my husband. I said, "Freddie, do we have $50?" He said, "Yeah." And so I said, "Well, can I have it?" And he said, "Yes." So I came out, and one of my volunteers said, "Well, are you gonna give them the money?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, I'll go get it." I go, "No, no, no." I said, "I'm gonna tell them to go get the heater and bring me a receipt back. If they do it, fine. If they don't, that's on them." But I went up to the table and I put the $50. I said, "Here, go buy that heater." I said, "Bring me a receipt back. I do need a receipt." Well, after they left, 20 minutes later, they come back with the receipt, and it was like $5 change. I told them to keep that. But what touched me so much about this story was I thought I knew all the circumstances, that they just didn't have a heater. But when they were leaving, the man said to the woman, "Oh, boy, those youngins gonna sure be glad to see this heater when they get home." And that tore me up, because I didn't know anything about the children, and I could only imagine that they were so cold that night before. But And I could only see them sitting there around that little heater. And that's what I mean by feed the need. And that's what people have to realize is that, I'm sorry, that people have to realize that I have learned over the last few years, and I have not known this all my life, don't think I have, that the more money you give away, the less control money have over your life. Mm. And I am so glad that money does not have control over my life. And it's such a good life when you can live it that way.
Amen.
So, you know.
Okay, so anybody I know in the food industry specifically, you know, cooks and chefs and people who do what you do every day. I mean, it is a physically exhausting.
It is.
Job. How do you do it? What keeps you going?
That's another thing that gives you that energy, not knowing who you're gonna meet that day and not knowing who you're gonna help that day. So in the morning at 5:30, I jump out of bed. I don't never crawl out and say, "Oh boy, what a day!" I jump out of bed and I'm ready to get dressed and I'm ready to go. And I come down here because I don't never know what my day is gonna bring. I don't never know who that day is gonna bring to me, and it's exciting. You know, and you know, never know who you're gonna help and how you're gonna help. I had a note left in the donation box one day that said, "Because of you, a family of 4 was able to eat today." Well, I didn't know that they were gone. I wish I had seen them. I couldn't even pick them out. I couldn't even tell you who they were. And that's the beauty of it. You don't know who. People suffer through hunger in silence. You don't know who's hungry, who's not. So, wow, I'm so glad we're here, because that makes it so much better for people that can just come on in and get a meal. And so it's an exciting day down here every day, because you don't ever know what you're going to run into. You know.
Well, last question, Lisa. There's so much to just be proud of. What's your proudest accomplishment?
My proudest accomplishment is that my husband and I, we could come in here and do this and help a total stranger, somebody I've never seen before, somebody who I might not ever see again. But that proudest moment is for those people who walk through that door. And I might not ever know that you haven't eaten in a couple of days. I might not ever know it, but my proudest moment is knowing that I'm able to do it and it's here for that person. And that's what we're going to continue to do. Those are proud moments for us. And we are just so proud to be here and to be doing what we do. And God blesses us so much. And when people leave here, you can see sometimes the inspiration in their eyes when they leave here, because when we talk, I tell them it's just God blesses you when you give of yourself to others. And I'm so proud that we do that, and we encourage others to do it. And I just don't think I could be any prouder than I am right now. And I'm so proud that you all named me one of the 20 Women of Impact. It's a very proud moment for me.
Well, I don't think I could be any prouder. Lisa, how do people find you? How, if they wanted to reach out to you to either volunteer or donate or come visit, or how do they find you?
We're on Facebook. They can definitely reach us on Facebook, or Messenger, or just our Facebook page, Drexel and Honey Bees.com. And we have a website, DrexelandHoneyBees.com. We have a website, so they can reach out to us there. And Facebook is probably the fastest way, because of course we stay on top of that every day. But that's how, they can reach out to us. And the phone numbers and stuff, and everything is on Facebook about us.
That's great. Well, again, congratulations, and
thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to share your story with Alabama.
Well, thank you so much, Allison. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.